A samurai from the Edo period engraved his prayers on a Cambodian ruin. Can you believe it? Today, we'll go on a journey exploring the hidden connection between Japan and Angkor Wat. A samurai's ink, an Edo-era map, and the eyes of a traveler from a century ago. Let the story begin.
Curiosity connects us all. If you love discovering real culture, please subscribe this channel.
A place etched with a Japanese prayer. On the corridors and pillars of Angkor Wat, you can still see graffiti-like inscriptions, prayers left by past visitors. And among them, believe it or not, is one left by a Japanese samurai from the Edo period. Wait, a Japanese? In the Edo period? In Cambodia? This was way before TripAdvisor or Google Maps. So let's first introduce this samurai. His name was Kazufusa Morimoto. His full name is a bit long. Morimoto Ukondayu Kazufusa. In this video, we'll simply call him Morimoto-san. In the early 1600s, he was a samurai serving the port of Hirado. Just before Japan entered its isolation period, he left the country and sailed all the way to Cambodia. From there, he journeyed further inland to Angkor Wat on a religious pilgrimage. It's said that Morimoto-san's ink writings remain in two locations at Angkor Wat, the Cruciform Gallery and the Northwest Library. So let's go check it out. First, the Cruciform Gallery. The walls are covered in Khmer, Burmese, and Chinese characters. But which one is Morimoto's? It's hard to tell. Next, the Northwest Library. There's no one around, and no handrails. It's tough just getting up there. We searched desperately with a flashlight for 20 minutes. I came to the library looking for an old Japanese ink. I looked and looked, but I couldn't find anything. What a shame. The library is small, so it shouldn't have been that hard. Found it. This is it. On the side of a gallery pillar and on the wall of the library, faded ink characters are clearly still visible. Some parts are hard to read, but the message goes like this.
From Hishu, Japan, I traveled here in pursuit of Buddha.
I dedicate 4 Buddha statues in prayer for the peace of my late parents and all people. This wasn't just a journey. It was a life-risking pilgrimage for his parents and for peace. Truly moving.
Today, in one corner of the Cruciform Gallery, there are rows of Buddha statues known as the 1,000 Buddhas. Perhaps one of them is the very statue Morimoto-san donated. That thought alone fills my heart. Now, people from all over the world come here to pray. Morimoto-san, the purity of life you wished for has surely been carried on through centuries to today. If you ever visit Angkor Wat, please try searching for Morimoto-san's ink writing. It's like a real-life treasure hunt. But for all modern travelers out there, no graffiti, okay?
Gion Shoja map. Angkor Wat as drawn by a Japanese. The sound of the Gion Shoja bell echoes the impermanence of all things. Though honestly, I can't remember if the bell went ching or gong. This line is the famous opening from The Tale of the Heike, something every Japanese student learns. Gion Shoja refers to a sacred Buddhist site, supposedly in Tenjiku, or India. Even Goku and Xuanzang aimed for Tenjiku in Journey to the West, remember? But this story takes a different turn. The place someone thought was Gion Shoja turned out to be... surprise. It was Angkor Wat in Cambodia. It was the Edo period, in 1600s.
Shogun Tokugawa Iemitsu may have wondered about Gion Shoja, the Buddhist Holy Land. What kind of place is it? I can't sleep without knowing. Well, maybe he didn't say that exactly. But in truth, its exact nature was still a mystery to people in Japan. After all, this was long before the internet or image searches. That's when the task fell to a man named Kanenori Shimano. He was said to be a Dutch interpreter in Nagasaki. Just like Morimoto-san in the previous chapter, he had ties to Nagasaki. Shimano-san traveled to a Japanese community in Phnom Penh, and from there set off to find the Gion Shoja of Tenjiku. He crossed rivers and jungles, journeying long and far, until he arrived at a massive temple rising from Cambodia's jungle.
Angkor Wat. Shimano-san must have thought, it's huge! And then, this must be the legendary Gion Shoja. To share this temple with Japan, he drew an overhead map, recording its directions and layout. That map is now known as the Gion Shoja map. He later presented the map to the Tokugawa family, and a copy is now kept at the Tokugawa Museum in Mito. Here is the Gion Shoja map. Compared with modern diagrams of Angkor Wat, the accuracy is astonishing. The positions of the towers, the layout of corridors, even the ponds, they match remarkably well. What stands out is how the building design looks kind of Japanese. But maybe that's how Edo period people imagine Gion Shoja to be. Even more surprising, he marked all four directions: north, south, east, and west accurately. What a feat of memory-based mapping from the Edo era. Shimano-san, you did a fantastic job. Kanenori Shimano, a Japanese man, once ventured into an unfamiliar jungle in search of Gion Shoja. This drawing is filled with prayer and romance, as he tried to bring the sacred temple of a faraway land to Japan. Tokugawa Iemitsu would have slept soundly after looking at it.
A traveler's view of Angkor over 100 years ago.
Now we leap from the Edo and Meiji eras to a traveler from 100 years ago in the Taisho period. Our third key figure is the man who actually discovered Morimoto's ink writing. His name? Veisui Chizuka. He worked as a war correspondent during the Sino-Japanese War, then became a professional travel writer, journeying from China to the South Seas. His chosen destination? Angkor in Cambodia. He later published his journey in a book titled Nanyo ni Asobite. A journey from a century ago. This travelogue was published in 1928 and became a classic. You might think travel to Cambodia back then was a luxurious trip for the elite. But no, it was far from easy. You might think so, but that wasn't the case at all. What he experienced was something very close to modern travel. A true journey full of hardship and inspiration. It was an era without asphalt roads. Wobbly boats, bumpy paths, unfamiliar local food. After enduring all that, Raceway-san finally reached Angkor Wat. Moved by its grandeur, he wandered through the corridors. When suddenly his eyes stopped on a certain pillar. There, he saw Morimoto-san, born in Japan, New Year in 1632, crossed thousands of miles of sea to reach this sacred hall. Wait, Japanese? And it's a samurai's name? That's right. This was the ink writing left by the Edo period samurai Morimoto-san. And Raceway-san was the very first person to discover it. My heart trembled as I read the ink soaked deep into the stone's surface. His words of awe were recorded in his book. Who would have thought he'd reunite with an ancestor's graffiti on a jungle pillar? And thanks to him, we now know about this ink writing too.
Thank you, Vesi-san.
When Raceway-san visited Angkor Wat, Indian mythology was still mostly unknown in Japan. Yet as he looked at the corridor reliefs, he correctly identified Prince Rama, the monkey army, even the churning of the ocean of milk. And his descriptions were incredibly vivid. At the center is the divine turtle, carrying Mount Mandara. A great serpent named Vasuki coils around it. The heavenly maidens, watching, rejoice and dance. He totally got it! The churning of the ocean, where gods use a mountain, a turtle, and a serpent to stir the sea. To understand all that in the Taisho era, just wow. For the record, when I first heard that myth, I thought, milk? A sea of milk? Wait, whose milk? What a difference, huh? Raceway-san also talks about how moved he was when a Japanese song was played on a gramophone at his hotel in Angkor. He also mentions that tiger meat was surprisingly edible when cooked well. Interesting. I also ate crocodile meat in Angkor. It was really tough. Before heading home, Raceway-san fell ill with dengue fever. He suffered high fever and intense joint pain. Recovery took 17 days. Thanks to the innkeeper and local caregivers, he finally got better. Talk about the trials of tropical travel. I also got sick in Cambodia once, and rushed to catch my flight out. Don't take health lightly while traveling. That's a timeless lesson for travelers then and now. Samurai, painter, writer. All three left their prayers engraved in this sacred place. Today, Japanese people continue to help preserve Angkor Wat through restoration and reforestation. In a different way, Japanese names live on here. If you're Japanese, I hope this story connects you with those who came before. And if you're from another country, why not explore your own connection to Angkor Wat with me?
Thanks for watching. Curiosity connects us all. If you love discovering real culture, please subscribe this channel